Aix-les-Bains, à Chambéry et bien plus encore, Radio Grand Lac vous accompagne sur le 92.1 FM.
Your English Weekly. Your English Weekly. La chronique 100% en anglais de Radio Grand Lac avec Sinead.
Oh, hello everyone and welcome back to your English Weekly. So if you're listening to me today in the car, at home, at your office, welcome. I'm so happy to know you're listening to English and I hope we will help you improve. My name is Sinead Dupont and I'm hosting our 18th edition with Beckham today. And don't forget, your English Weekly boosts English speaking on various subjects varying from jobs, association and English people in our local community in aix-les-bains and Lac-du-Bourget. Okay, so I hope you all had a good week and I hope you all enjoyed your week and you learned lots of little English things. So your English Week workshop sponsors your English Weekly, and today we are talking to Beckham, an American construction coordinator with an Irish background. Hello, Beckham.
Hi, Sinead.
Okay, so before we start, just a quick thanks to all our listeners on Radio Grand Lac 92.1 that make this show work. And in our last program, we had I don't remember, but it doesn't matter. They won a lovely box of chocolates, and well done. We'll see it on Facebook and on Instagram this week. So today our guest is Beckham. He was born in Atlanta, Georgia, studied in Atlanta, South Carolina, Arizona, Australia, worked in various places too. Such a cosmopolitan character. Well done. And he is an American. So for all our listeners who don't know where Atlanta, Georgia is, of course, Beckham will tell you. He will tell you in a few minutes. So before we start, normally I give you the expression of the week, but this week we have changed roles. It's Beckham who's going to give me an expression. So we'll see if I know the expression. And today the prize is a nice cup of coffee and a time spent with Beckham for a chat. All in English, of course. Okay, Beckham, over to you.
Okay, well, today's expression is under your belt. Do you know what under your belt means, Sinead?
I think I have a good idea. I think it is something that when you've got a good skill in something.
Sure, an example is Sinead is a teacher. She has teaching under her belt.
Okay, so we'll see now if any of our listeners have other expressions, not expressions to tell us, but if they can find you can't win today, Sinead, it doesn't matter. Okay, no worries, but send in a message if you think you knew what the expression meant, and we'll see who the winner of this week is next week. Okay, Beckham, so do you want to introduce yourself to our listeners today?
Yeah, sure. My name is Beckham. I'm an American, and with my wife, we moved to aix-les-bains from New York City in October 2020. Okay,
and tell us, you arrived here in October 2020 and now you're living here. And if you want to tell us a little bit, we're going to talk about the learning an English language or learning the French language and all its challenges. So for you, Beckham, I know you had to learn French when you came here.
From scratch.
So that's quite a big challenge. So you started. So what does it entail? What are some of the things connected to that?
Oh, God. Lots of pantomiming in the beginning, I suppose. Yeah.
Which means that you're using your arms and your hands to express what you want, yeah?
Sure, yeah. And I think it's been maybe the most exhausting part of it's been my ability to express myself completely. I found that I can't answer things in a detailed manner. I sort of, anything outside of where is the bathroom, so that somebody can point at it, or I'm hungry, or it's cold. That's about as far as I'm able to get with it, right?
You know, a lot of these people, when they're learning English, for example, they come across the same problems. So it's not unusual to have this, so it's not unusual. Okay, so before we go on to talk about the French language and etc., tell us a little bit, why did you choose Aix-les-Bains? Because I know you work in London, you go up to Paris, you move around. So why did you choose Aix-les-Bains?
I've been lucky enough to come here several times over the last 10 years. My wife's family is originally from here. Mm-hmm. My wife and I were married here in 2013, and we've just always loved it. It's a stunningly beautiful place in the world, and it's filled with amazing people. So that, what better place to live when you have the chance?
You are a spoilt man, all right. Well done. Yes, so you were right. Aix-les-Bains is just fantastic. So your wife now, does she do a lot of the speaking then for you? Because I presume she's French, is she?
She is, yeah. She's French and English, although born in America, but she speaks both French and English fluently. Those are her first languages. And she speaks Spanish fluently as well. Throw in a little German, so she gets me through a lot. She navigates all the administration and bureaucracy and making friends and dinner.
Oh, of course, because it is hard when you get here first. You do sometimes feel a little bit lonely. I know that sometimes when French people go to England or to Ireland and they find themselves in the country, not always easy to get along and to be able to communicate. So it is nice having someone to help you with that. Now, what do you find exhausting in learning a language?
Oh, just like I said before, is that inability to express yourself completely. I want to make a joke, I can't make the joke, or I'm 30 seconds behind when I think I have an answer or something witty to say, and the conversation's long gone, and I've just missed the timing. But it's coming, and fortunately, everyone I speak with is very patient, and they help me along.
And they help you too. And do you, like, if I was to say to you, what do you find the most difficult part? Is it the pronunciation? Is it getting the words? Is it learning the vocabulary? Understanding the grammar? What for you do you find challenging in this?
Sure, I think the structure of French, and it's probably the same when you're learning English, but the structure of French is quite different. And so the speed with which it's spoken, there are the liaisons and the abbreviations, and in French, maybe more than any other language, I think the pronunciation is the most important thing. It's critical to the meaning of a word, and I work with an instructor now, and she's drilled me more than anything. Other than vocabulary, more than structure, is just saying every single syllable correctly to make sure that I can be understood by native speakers.
Yeah, but the people who are learning English say the same thing. So it is something that is important, that the person understands in front of you what exactly you want to say. Okay, so when you started to learn and you started to crawl along with all this language part, has there been people who haven't been nice to you, or is there any moment that you've had an experience where somebody's given you something else? I had a great experience once. I'll tell you about that after. But no, you never had a funny experience?
Nobody's taken any advantage of me. They haven't, sent me down the wrong way to waste my time, or
that's good.
No, they've all been very kind.
Yeah, and in the shops, do people help you
Lovely.
When you're not able to express exactly what you want?
Oh, really? To a person, they've been very, very kind.
Oh, well, that's nice. I had a great experience with that one day when I went to the train station to get my tickets to go to Paris. And when I arrived at the train station, my train was not at 5 o'clock. It was in the afternoon. It was at 5 o'clock in the morning, because we say in English, "Oh, I'll have a train at 5 p.m., please." And of course, the lady gave me for 5 a.m. in the morning, and off my train was gone when I got to the train station. So, funny things like that. Yeah. That can happen. Okay, so let's talk about America. Do you miss America?
No.
Oh.
No, I don't.
Really?
I've lived abroad before in my life, and I've traveled a great deal, and I like America very much, but I really enjoy living abroad, particularly here. It's a wonderful lifestyle, and like I said, the people were lovely. And after New York, it's been a nice change to gear down a little bit.
Oh, and New York at the moment with all the snowstorms.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're not missing that at the moment.
No, but here in the Alps, I guess at least here I can ski.
How long did you spend in New York?
6 years.
Okay. And during that time in New York, what were you doing?
I was a construction manager, so just working 14-hour days and riding the subway and running around like a maniac. Yeah.
And are you still today working in construction work?
I'm doing logistics work here internationally, so that involves a little bit of construction, but mostly just planning and making the trains run on time, as we say.
Oh.
That's a different saying for a different.
I know you'll have to explain that though. Now that you've said it.
Oh, just coordinating to make the trains run on time. It's
coordinating the works.
Coordinating the works, making sure everything arrives when it's supposed to.
Okay. And now you've started your job in England. So how does that work? You go every week to England and then come back, or it just depends? Or can you do a lot of the work today by Zoom, as they say?
Sure. No, I work remotely, and going to the UK is one part of the job, but America, France, Belgium, Sweden, Spain, those will all be places, Switzerland, of course. So there's a lot of travel involved, and it's intermittent. So I'm here probably 6 weeks, I think about 6 weeks at a time, and then take off for a while, depending on the project.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it sounds very exciting, to be honest.
It's so far so good.
So far so good. Oh, well, that's great. So you lived in New York, and before New York, or when you lived in New York, tell us a little bit about the New York life compared to the aix-les-bains life.
It's about warp 10. Oh, that's another strange American expression.
I think that, the Americans do like their expressions, don't
so
they?
do the French. But it's very, very intense. It's very fast paced. New Yorkers work. They like to work. The culture is about working, and most of life is lived outside of where your home is. You live on the subway. You live in a restaurant. You live in the streets. You live in your office with your friends. Very few things are done in the home. You leave early in the morning. You have your day. Happenstance takes you away to any number of things that you weren't expected, and then you get home late at night, sleep, and try again the next day.
Okay. And do you think you'll always live here now in aix-les-bains?
This will be our base. Yeah, we bought a home, and we really like it. This is where we've decided to make our permanent home.
To make the permanent home here.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this sounds really good. So what is it now when you're here and you're staying here in aix-les-bains? What are some of the activities you like to do?
Well, we've been very fortunate and developed a very close circle of friends. So we were enjoying spending time with our friends and their families, and with dinners and out at restaurants and just sharing time with each other, really. I'm looking forward to getting out on the lake for some kite surfing this summer. Okay. And we'll be getting back up into the mountains for a little more skiing and snowboarding this winter. Yeah. There's so much to do here.
I saw the kite season has already started. The other day at the side of the lake, there was a load of people out there kite surfing.
Well, they're braver than I am. It's a little bit cold.
Yeah, it's a little bit cold for me too at the moment. Yeah. We're not in New York or in Boston at the moment, but still it is cold. So just coming back then again to New York, or back to not necessarily New York, where did you grow up for school? And
a bit of all over. I started in Georgia. I was in South Carolina. I studied in Arizona. I studied in Australia. So I've moved around quite a bit.
Okay. And you did no French in any of these countries that you were staying in?
No, the schools that I attended didn't prioritize languages. And if so, it would have been Spanish, I suppose.
Yeah. So, for example, here we do promote languages in a great deal, and it's important for us. So, what is the most popular language people learn in America then?
Certainly Spanish. Certainly Spanish.
Yeah. And do you have any other future projects other than basing down here now in aix-les-bains and skiing up in the resorts and kite surfing on the lake?
Yeah, no, we'll renovate our home and just continue to burrow in here. It's that's all we have on the agenda.
Oh, listen, it's so good. It's so good. And I do wish you all the really best now with all your different activities that you'll be organising. And just before we finish, could you just tell us with our listeners here, a little secret, what is your favourite place to go in aix-les-bains?
Ooh.
What is your favourite place to go in aix-les-bains?
Off the top of my head, I suppose I would just have to say to visit the lake. I don't know that I have another favorite beyond there, but that's we enjoy getting out and having a nice walk by the lake.
Oh, well, that sounds great. So, listeners, I know that we all gave you the answer today to our expression, but do send in a message, and the first to send in a message will get a chance to chat with Beckham here, who's a very interesting character altogether, and he'll offer you a nice coffee and a good chat in English, so that would be nice for those learning English. So, just to come back, thank you for listening today. Thank you for 92.1 FM, and thank you for your English Workshop for sponsoring this chronicle. And of course, I am always open to your suggestions or your requests, or if you wish to participate with me on this chronicle, don't hesitate to send me a message to www.yourenglishworkshop.com. And if you want to re-listen to this program, you can click onto the website of Radio Grand Lac 92.1 And we'll see you next week. Huh? Oh, before I finish, just one quick little word. I know time is finished. Don't forget, we've got our stages in Your English Workshop from the 14th to the 18th for the college children and for primary children. Oh, of course, with the mostly boosting sketches, oral works, dialogues, activities, and you name it, we can do with you. So have a good week to all those listeners and talk to you next week. Bye for now.
Your English Weekly. Your English Weekly. La chronique 100% en anglais de Radio Grand Lac avec Sinead.
Radio Grand Lac vous accompagne sur le 92.1 FM.